What is... Dax, are you?
Tracking all our cars on Carvana Value Tracker? On all our devices? Yes, Kristen, yes I am.
Well, I've been looking for my phone for...
In Dax's domain, we see all. So we always know what our cars are worth.
All of them?
All of them. Value surge, trucks up 3.9%.
That's a great offer.
I know. Sell?
Sell.
Track your car's value with Carvana Value Tracker today.
Girl, you have got to try this Laneige lip mask. Trust me, my lips needed that love. Love these vanilla vibes from Kayali. That top note is just so smooth.
Smooth and stunning. That's what you get with this K18 hair mask.
Those brands everybody's talking about, they're at Sephora. Discover the hype with the hottest names in beauty, including Laneige, KLE, K18, and Rare Beauty. Only at Sephora.
Welcome to the Reslayer's Take. I'm George Primavera.
And I'm Nick Williams. In this podcast, George and I lead a group of players through an exciting improvised adventure in Exandria, the magical world of Critical Role.
We're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but you won't need to know the rules to follow along. All you need to know is that nothing the players do is scripted or planned, and their fates are determined by their own cleverness and the random chance of rolling a 20-sided die.
You can listen to new episodes of The Reslayer's Take every Monday, anywhere you stream podcasts.
Or if you want to listen to the podcast 2 weeks early and uninterrupted by ads, join Beacon at beacon.tv.
Last but certainly not least, if you're enjoying the story, please consider leaving a rating and review. Your feedback might inspire someone new to join this adventure.
Now, without further ado,
welcome to the Reslayer's Take.
The Reslayer's Take face off with this mummified creature deep in the heart of Heldwell's dungeon. Whoever they are seem to be connected to the sarcophagus or the fancy coffin with a thick spectral chain connected to a massive glowing purple gem that pulses malevolently. It would seem Heldwell has learned some new dark magic akin to the Timberblight's machinations. The members of the Spectral Hand, exhausted and weakened, cower behind Hera, Frog, and Farah as the mummy slowly advances, swirling above their heads, doing chaotic flips and barrel rolls as they laugh and hoot mockingly from above, are a swarm of jump-scaring ghosts that the party previously saw disappearing and reappearing through the walls, ceilings, and floors of the many tunnels above.
Wanting to learn the secrets about this mummy creature, Frog deftly runs around it, avoiding its grasp. As she runs, her extra hands pull out her notebook and pen so that she may notate this battle. As she nears the sarcophagus, she reaches towards the gem with her left identifying palm.
As you touch the gem, make a Constitution saving throw.
10.
Failure. Frog, you take 20 points of necrotic damage and are blasted back 20 feet, bringing you to 33 points of health.
Hera's eyes wander over the bandaged creature and drift along the spectral chain, trying to discern any differences between this tendril and the ones she's seen before.
Roll an insight check.
11.
This is a very new creature to Hera, and she is unable to assess it as effectively as she has been able to in the past.
Hera swiftly moves around to the backside of the sarcophagus and obscures herself underneath the lid.
Hera, roll a stealth check.
Dirty 20.
Hera disappears, sliding into the space between the sarcophagus and the lid that is tipped at an angle, leaning on top of it. As the action kicks off, the ghosts swirling around the ceiling periodically descend upon each member of this broadened party. Everybody make a wisdom saving throw, except for Hera, who is well hidden.
8. 15. 13.
12. 17. 12.
Farah, Euphemia, and Maurice all fail. As each ghost descends, screaming at them, taking more of their life essence away, each of them becomes frightened and gains another point of exhaustion. Maurice, paralyzed with fear and exhaustion, cannot move.
Oh, Pig has gotten inside! Oh, get its feet away from me!
Euphemia's health is halved, bringing her to 9 points of health.
No, the putrid poetry of it all! I can't stand it!
and Farah, with her second point of exhaustion, has her speed reduced in half.
Oh god.
Gawain steels himself and runs straight towards the mummy.
As Gawain approaches, the mummy lifts one rotted hand and sand explodes forward. Gawain, make a Constitution saving throw.
Natural 1.
Gawain is severely blinded.
Sand? Where is this sand?
Farah dashes 15 feet, moving around the mummy to get a better look at the stone inside the sarcophagus.
Roll an Arcana check.
Natural 1.
You are unable to discern any information from this distance. You will need to get closer. Farah, at the end of your turn, make a Wisdom saving throw.
11.
Ghosts repeatedly swoop down, mimicking the terror-stricken faces of your friends, calling out for you to help them. You remain frightened.
Drunk. Let me help you. Give me upsies.
Maurice readies the help action for when he's on Drunk's shoulders.
Maurice, make a Wisdom saving throw at the end of your turn, at disadvantage.
3.
Maurice quivers next to Drunk.
Drunk easily lifts the shaking halfling onto his back and throws a reckless haymaker at the ghost targeting Euphemia.
Roll an attack.
Nat 20. 4 damage.
As the ghost is punched across the face, leaving Drunk's hand covered in spectral goo, Euphemia, make a Wisdom saving throw before your turn, at disadvantage.
13.
Seeing the ghost knocked across the face, you feel unafraid by this suddenly corporeal threat.
Oh, thank heavens. Oh. Euphemia throws her hand out towards the nearby ghost and tries to grab it with her shocking grasp.
Roll an attack with disadvantage.
7.
The ghost easily backs up, avoiding the electrical outstretched palm. As Euphemia and Dronk deal with this ghost assailing them, the mummy continues to punish Gawain. Gawain, make another Constitution saving throw.
15.
Failure. Gawain is also stunned by the loud screaming.
I'm attempting to duel you honorably. What? Oh!
Seeing this sandy spectacle in front of her, Frog lifts herself off the ground and charges at the mummified creature. Frog strikes out with her fists.
Lower your voice!
Roll your attacks.
12, 13.
2 misses. Your fists come up on the body, but the mummy makes no reaction.
Steadying herself, Frog channels her ki and strikes out 2 more times.
Roll 2 more attacks.
Nat 1, 13.
1 critical failure, 1 miss. One hand gets stuck inside the mummy's chest, and as you try to tug it free, it does not relinquish.
Hey! Give it back, I need it!
And negative energy begins to course up Frog's hand and into her body. Frog takes 53 points of necrotic damage, dropping her unconscious in an instant. Though Frog is unconscious, she is still stuck inside the mummy, hanging from the body limply.
Hearing the sounds of Frog's servos whirring down, Hera peeks out from behind the sarcophagus. Seeing Frog's limp form, Hera carefully slinks forward, takes the potion from her belt, and forces it into Frog's mouth.
Frog regains 9 points of health, bringing her up to 9.
Did I miss?
Brandishing the coiled wand, Hera rapidly casts protection from evil and good on herself, hoping her mother's magic will save her from the undead. Seeing the light come back in Frog's eyes, Hera then tries to make back for the safety cover behind the sarcophagus.
The mummy turns, seeing Hera move quickly around his feet, and takes a massive swing downward with the maul.
Seeing the mummy take an opportunity attack on Hera, Farah channels her energy, her veins pulse, and a dark veil comes between Hera and the mummy. Subtracting 5 from the roll.
As that shadowy veil interposes itself between Hera and the mummy, the hammer comes down with no target on the ground.
Farah concentrates on the veil, keeping it there as long as she can, taking 6 necrotic damage.
She is brought to 49 points of health. The ghosts continue to swarm above, 2 of them descending on Frog and Euphemia. One of them attempts to grab Frog, but finds it too difficult to lay a withering touch on her as the mummy's movement moves her from side to side. However, Euphemia is grabbed around the throat by one of these ghosts and takes 14 necrotic damage, dropping her to 0 points of health.
What's happening? Am I just hearing everyone miss a lot?
At the end of Gavain's turn, he is able to wipe the sand away from his eyes and is no longer stunned.
Euphemia, did you? Oh!
The mummy continues to struggle with the shadowy veil blocking its vision. It moves towards the retreating Hera and makes 2 more attacks on her. The first maul strike misses in the dirt, and as Hera makes for the cover, the second slams down on her leg. With an uncanny dodge, you have the damage to 5, bringing you down to 50 points of health.
Farah dashes another 30 feet, trying to get a better look at the stone in the sarcophagus.
Roll an Arcana check.
18.
The malevolent, pulsing gem looks like the root of all of the dark magic taking place here. Based on how the marionette braided rope is attached to the mummy, you glean that the gem is the source of Heldwell's will, the thing that is controlling the actions of the mummy.
Target the stone!
Farah, at the end of your turn, make a wisdom saving throw.
11.
Farah maintains a deep-seated fear.
Put me down, drunk. I'm too close to the birds.
And Maurice preps the help action yet again.
Maurice, at the end of your turn, make a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
12.
The illusory birds continue to torture Maurice.
Be outside!
Don't worry, Maurice. I will put you down somewhere helpful and hopefully rid you of the birds.
Drunk grabs Maurice from his shoulders and attempts to throw him at the gem.
Drunk, make an athletics check.
That one.
Drunk, still weak in the arms from his exhaustion, accidentally releases too late, and Maurice is spiked into the ground at Drunk's feet. Maurice takes 7 points of bludgeoning damage. Maurice is brought down to 10 points of health, his temporary hit points expended.
Euphemia, I think I hurt Maurice. Euphemia?
Euphemia, make a death saving throw.
3.
1 failure. Euphemia's eyes flutter.
We cannot escape anguish.
Meanwhile, the mummy continues to chase after Hera. Hera, make a constitution saving throw as the mummy screams its bellowing tone.
4.
There is a great pain between Hera's ears, and Hera is stunned until the end of the mummy's next turn.
Heeding the words of Farah about the stone, Frog channels her spectral gloves and strikes out at the sarcophagus in front of her.
As Frog punches within the sarcophagus twice, 2 motes of light are laid inside of it, adjacent to the glowing gem.
Channeling her ki, Frog strikes out 2 more times
and lays out 2 more motes, now 4 strong.
Seeing that this mummy creature is distracted, Frog extricates herself from the battle, running as far away from them as she can.
Hera remains stunned, in the middle of attempting to crawl away from the mummy. The ghosts begin to swarm around again, descending on Drunk this time. One of them misses by a mile, as Drunk follows through on his Maurice touchdown celebration, but the other clutches his chest, blasts necrotic energy into it, and Drunk takes 10 points of necrotic damage, bringing him to 8 points of health.
Gavain, oblivious to everything else around him, cracks his neck and smiles. All right, Dawn Father, give me strength. Gavain's holy symbol pulses, and divine power surges through his muscles. He sprints towards the sarcophagus, grabs it by its sides, and attempts to slam it down onto the ground.
Roll an athletics check.
23.
With a great effort, Gavain tips the sarcophagus over.
Yeah!
The sarcophagus slams down on its side. The gem is exposed to everyone.
Well, someone gonna follow up on this layup?
Gavain looks over at the mummy, and sand explodes out from its wrist.
No!
Roll a constitution saving throw.
7.
As Gavain is blinded,
where?
The mummy follows up with a hammer attack, slamming Gavain in the chest. Gavain takes 7 points of bludgeoning damage and 5 points of necrotic damage, bringing him to 7 points of health. The mummy then tries to boot him over, prone. Roll an athletics check.
21.
Despite Gavain's great strength, he is booted over onto his back, prone.
Farah takes 2 shots at the stone.
Roll your attacks with disadvantage.
15. 8.
1 hit. Roll damage.
5 piercing damage, 4 radiant damage.
The accurate spectral bolt hits the center of the gem, disappears, and a small crack appears in its surface.
Farah backs up a bit, but makes sure to be in sight of the stone.
At the end of your turn, make a wisdom saving throw.
7.
Farah, several of the swirling ghosts have targeted you as a source of constant fear. 5 or 6 of them begin to descend down towards you, flashing her party's faces in front of her, speaking in a layered tone.
You couldn't save us. You couldn't save them.
You are unable to shake the fear.
Maurice weakly flaps an arm into Euphemia's face, attempting to stabilize her.
Maurice, roll a medicine check with disadvantage.
4?
Slapping Euphemia in the face does nothing.
Ugh.
Maurice, make a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
8.
Their feet!
Looking at his prone allies around him, Dronk attempts to grab Maurice in one hand and Euphemia in the other, dragging them along the ground towards the gem and shaking Euphemia in an effort to revitalize her.
Dronk, make a medicine check with disadvantage.
10.
This vigorous shake awakens Euphemia slightly. Euphemia is stabilized, shaken from her necrotic stupor.
In his exhausted state, grappling 2 of his friends, Dronk is only able to get about 5 feet closer.
Euphemia!
As Dronk begins to approach, the mummy looks to the sky, letting out a bellow. Dark ribbons of energy emit from the creature's form, swarming around everyone. This dark magic will absorb any healing magic that is cast in the room until the end of the mummy's next turn.
Frog focuses her mind and brings her fists together, engaging her motes of light.
Frog, roll 4d10 radiant damage.
26 radiant damage.
With a flash of light, many more cracks form in the purple diamond.
Take that!
Hira looks for a flaw in the tendril binding the mummy to the gem.
Roll an insight check.
19.
With her keen eye, Hira spots a point where the tendrils leave an opening to the core of the rope.
Her spectral blade, sheathed in sonic energy, she strikes at it.
Roll your attack.
18.
Hit. Roll damage.
21 piercing and 10 thunder.
The chain, though it is resistant to the thunderous energy due to its natural ghostly fortitude, still takes 26 points of damage. Many of the tendrils are shorn, leaving only a thin strand left. The tendrils do begin to swarm, seemingly repairing the damage, drawing energy from the gem. But while this happens, the mummy's head drops, and it is stunned.
Hira moves away from it and slides behind the sarcophagus, using it for cover.
As the mummy is stunned, the dark ribbons evaporate. The ghosts continue to press Farah. 6 ghosts descend upon her with withering hands. Farah is able to avoid 2 of the grasping hands, but 4 of them grab different parts of her armor, blasting her with necrotic damage, 2 of which are critical hits. Farah takes 101 points of necrotic damage, halved to 50. She is brought down to 5 points of health in a flash.
Gavain, hearing nothing but screams, scrambles to his feet, backs away, and puts a hand to his chest. Dawnfather, be with me now, using his last lay on hands on himself for 5 points of healing.
Gavain is brought to 12 points of health. The tendrils connecting the mummy to the gem finally reform. At the end of the mummy's turn, it is no longer stunned, its eyes glowing again. As it lifts its head, the bandages fall loose, Hira, Farah, Frog, roll a history check.
18.
23.
23.
It is now clear who this mummy is. You recognize a familiar werebore. Igor stands before you.
Hey! We know him!
Then tell him to stop!
Heldwell really is irredeemable.
Yeah, he sucks. Farah takes aim at the stone once more and shoots twice.
Roll with disadvantage as you shoot from behind a wall of ghosts.
13. 17.
One miss, but one hit. Roll damage.
9 magical piercing damage, 4 radiant damage.
The cracks are now spider-webbed all over the diamond, and it is beginning to pulse more frantically. It is on its last bits of structural integrity. Farah, at the end of your turn, make a wisdom saving throw.
Natural 1.
The ghosts move around Farah, preparing to finish her.
Maurice lifts his face out of the dirt.
Hey, Mummy! You're far less terrifying than Gawain would be if he were mummified.
Maurice casts vicious mockery on the mummy.
For a moment, the mummy looks confused at Maurice and seems affected by the mockery.
1 psychic damage.
The mummy is fully distracted by Maurice, taking that 1 point of damage and now having disadvantage on its next attack. The mummy, suddenly becoming sand, shifts over to Maurice.
Seeing a possible window of opportunity, Drunk drops both his allies back into the dirt, circles the mummy, and attempts to rip the tether from the gem.
Roll an athletics check with disadvantage.
16.
No matter how hard Drunk pulls, his hand squelching on the gooey rope, he is unable to dislodge it from the mummy. The mummy turns to look at Drunk. Drunk, make a constitution saving throw.
19.
Sand explodes out of the mummy's mouth. And Drunk is able to close his eyes in time to prevent being blinded.
I closed my eyes this time!
Euphemia is barely conscious on the ground.
I used to be someone in a forest far away. I think I might have laughed. Gone is the time of Euphemia.
Seeing that the gem is on its last legs, Frog charges with all her might and strikes out against it.
Roll your attacks.
Dirty 20, 28.
2 hits. Roll damage.
20 magical bludgeoning damage.
Frog, how do you want to do this?
I gotta make sure this is in my journal!
As Frog's extra hands jot this down, Frog brings her 2 magical gloved fists down in a double hammer strike.
The gem explodes. Frog, make a constitution saving throw.
11.
The gem is destroyed, but Frog does not defend herself against the wave of necrotic damage that blasts out of it. Frog takes 21 points of necrotic damage, dropping her to 0, slamming down into the dirt. Igor the mummy stumbles forward. On his back, the marionette strings twitch, writhing in agony, and evaporate, their source of power destroyed. And Igor's eyes go dark. He stands there, silent and still. The ghosts, losing the object that is binding them to this place, fly back up into the ceiling as if pushed against their will, also disappearing.
Farah rushes towards Frog, trying to stabilize her.
Roll a medicine check with disadvantage.
21.
Part of Frog's exterior has come off at the back. You see a small gear is stuck within her shoulder, and setting it back into place, Frog's eyes light with a dim light. She is stabilized.
Striding out from behind the sarcophagus, having already donned the facade of Heldwell, just like before, Hira stands in front of the mummy, doing her best to mimic Heldwell's stance, and says,
Igor, go fetch me my healing potion and cloak and be quick about it.
A confused Dronk screams and throws a wild haymaker at Heldwell.
Roll an attack.
24.
Hera is punched in the face and takes 4 points of damage, bringing her to 46 points of health.
You betrayed us!
Hera casts Hellish Rebuke at max level.
Dronk, make a dexterity saving throw.
5.
Dronk takes 15 points of fire damage, knocking him unconscious. The mummy turns to face you, launches out to grab you by the neck.
What have you done to Igor?
As Igor grabs the disguised Hera, he begins to slowly become sand. Little bits of his body dropping onto the ground in little piles.
Farah examines Igor, trying to discern the magic that's on him.
Roll an Arcana check.
14.
Igor seems freed of Heldwell's sway, though he is still an undead creature.
Startled, Hera drops the illusion.
Reslayer's take?
Farah rushes forward before he dissolves completely into sand. What happened to you?
Heldwell.
Igor releases Hera.
Yeah, but is there... what else? Do you know where he is?
Heldwell disappeared. Use lantern. Make Igor this.
Okay, be at peace.
Thank you.
Igor takes a couple of steps back, closes his eyes, and slowly becomes a small mound of sand.
Gawain takes a moment, smiles. Reslayer's take? Spectral hand? I think we won that one! Someone get Dronk up. Dronk?
Seeing the smoke rising from Dronk's mohawk, Hera slowly tiptoes over and attempts to stabilize him.
Roll a medicine check.
9.
Truly not knowing what to do with the smoking Goliath, Hera kneels over him at a loss, and then Dronk's eyes shoot open, having succeeded his third death saving throw.
Angel?
If we could find our things, we came in with a bag of healing potions. That's really all we bought before we came here.
We should really start doing that. Why don't we ever stop and buy healing potions?
Because we have Timpani.
Huh, I guess you're right. Maybe we really do need his big bazooki.
Putting her arms underneath Maurice's armpits, Hera carefully picks him up, puts him near the unconscious party members.
You look after our friends. We'll go help you find your stuff.
Will do, thanks. Ugh, I feel like a gelatinous cube that's been stepped on.
And now for a brief intermission. This Valentine's Day, whether you're married, single, focusing on friendships, or stuck in a never-ending spiral of situationships, everyone deserves to celebrate love.
While MeUndies can't totally help your love life, they can offer you insanely comfy undies to buy or gift this holiday. They've got so many awesome Valentine's Day prints and styles, plus you can match with your partner, friends, or even your pets in MeUndies' iconic matching styles.
You and them, matching MeUndies. Name a better Valentine's Day.
My wife and I got matching sets of the coziest underwear you can imagine. So now we're always matching, even if no one can tell. Plus, they have whale sharks on them. Who says underwear can't be fun?
And MeUndies isn't just about underwear. Explore the Lounge collection, featuring joggers, hoodies, onesies, and more. I'm leaning into a PJ exclusive lifestyle, and I'm loving it.
MeUndies' signature fabric is as soft as a warm hug from your favorite sweater. It's breathable, stretchy, and oh so comfy, making it ideal for all-day wear.
And you know what Nick and I care about the most? They use sustainably sourced materials and work with partners that care for their workers.
This Valentine's Day, give the gift that'll always have them thinking of you, and score huge site-wide savings at MeUndies.com/RST and enter promo code RST at checkout. That's MeUndies.com/RST with code RST for huge site-wide savings. MeUndies. Comfort from the outside in.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like our favorite wizardy cereal, Magic Spoon, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, brilliant marketing, but an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify, the home of the #1 checkout on the planet, with its secret weapon, Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going cha-ching.
So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between.
The secret is out. Businesses that want to grow with Shopify.
Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Magic Spoon uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/reslayer, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/reslayer to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/reslayer. If saving more and spending less is on your list of resolutions for 2025, why are you still paying insane amounts of money every month for wireless? Switching to Mint Mobile is the easiest way to save this year. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you maximize your savings with plans starting at $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. Now think about how easy that resolution's going to be to fulfill.
One thing that stood out was how hassle-free it was to switch over to Mint for my old service. It was so easy. The prices are also significantly lower than what I was paying before, and the connection and experience I've had since switching has been fantastic. I can't believe I didn't start using Mint sooner. It feels absurd to pay so much more for the same quality.
Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan without changing your phone number.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/RST. That's mintmobile.com/RST. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/RST.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Now back to the show. As you head off to look for the Spectral Hands things, you realize that there does not seem to be an apparent exit in this chamber.
Being familiar with Heldwell's penchant for hidden trapdoors, and wondering if he would have the foresight to have an emergency escape for himself, Hira examines the walls of the tomb they are in.
Farah, seeing what Hira's trying to do, assists her.
Hira, roll an investigation check with advantage.
21.
The walls are very dusty, and it is dark in here, but there is something etched on the far wall, opposite from where the slide deposited you. Something slightly familiar. As you scrape the dust aside, you see the outline of the Timberblight's horrific visage, exactly the same as the one that guarded the entrance to the Death Cloud Troll's lair. As soon as you uncover the face, there is a flash of purple. Hira and Farah are gone.
I have some leftovers from Taste of Taldore. They're not good berries, they're great berries. They're fried.
Yes, Gawain, those would revive all of the unconscious party members.
Oh, well, don't have to thank me twice.
But I will anyway. Thank you, Gawain. Thank you, Gawain.
Gawain pulls out 10 loose fried berries from his pocket and begins to distribute them amongst the unconscious party members. What?
With a pop, Farah and Hira appear outside on Heldwell's front steps.
Well, that worked as expected. Do you think their stuff is upstairs or downstairs?
The mug was in the kitchen. Should we look there first?
Yeah, I was thinking along the same lines. Before we do,
Hira puts her finger to her earpiece.
long shot, but Timpani, are you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Sorry, I'm walking around trying to get better reception on this thing. Let me just, give me 1 second. I'm just walking out of the hug hive so I can be out from underground. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, what's up?
Things sort of went bad in Helldwells. I think we could maybe use your help. You better come back.
There's a pregnant pause on the other end. Are you sure? I kinda thought you needed some space.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's some stuff I should probably tell you and Poogs. Also, there's this guy, and sometimes my attitude reminds me of him, and, well, I don't want to be like him, so just come back, okay? I miss you or whatever.
You hear a strange noise on the other end?
Hira, roll an insight check.
13.
Sorry, there's just some, it's cave pollen season here at the Hug Hive, so my allergies are just going crazy. I'm not crying or nothing.
He is crying.
Don't embarrass us in front of Freedom. Dry your face and get your big patooth back to Vasselheim.
My big papoose will be on the first tree back. Just give me a couple hours. I gotta get my strength back.
Following Farah back to the kitchen, Hira looks through the refuse where she tossed aside the silver tankard earlier.
She finds it sitting on the top of the pile.
She picks it up.
Farah searches all the cabinets.
Roll an investigation check.
14.
The cabinets are largely empty, though you find one cabinet full of resplendent silverware.
Farah opens her bag and scoops everything into it.
It's at this moment that Hira and Farah hear a pop outside, and as they rush to the front door, see the haggard spectral hand as well as Frog, having just teleported outside.
Oh, it's just like that. That gauntlet from before. Is anyone else dizzy?
Ugh. I'm just thankful that you hung on to all those great berries for when we really needed them, Gavain.
Drunk adjusts a limp Maurice on his shoulder and smiles a toothy grin.
Farah stares at Gavain. So, you had something, and you didn't say anything.
What was that? Oh, sorry it took so long. All of our stuff was underneath bones.
The spectral hand does indeed seem to be re-outfitted, though their clothing is still in tatters.
Gavain looks down sheepishly, then back up. Here's the thing. If I'm going to be humble, which I am, our patron is, going through a bit of a rough patch, as it were. Look, sometimes you're chosen ones and you're supposed to get weapons and you don't get them and then you can't do your job effectively and then... details. Either way, the point is this. The only way that we can get funding is if we get like a smidge of credit for what just happened here.
Really more than a smidge.
All of it.
How's this for a deal? You give us all your healing potions, because you're not going to need them anymore. You all go home and do whatever it is that's not dangerous. Gardening, sitting on the couch, reading a nice book, because none of you are competent enough to do what we do.
Look, we're all aware of our... Well, most of us are aware of our abilities. But we need some money to do our gardening or what have you. So, we take the credit, we get the money, and we run. Good for you, good for us. Yes?
You know, there are members of our party as well that maybe are not as skilled with a blade or with a spell, but they still find use for themselves. It is not on me to tell you whether or not you are meant for great deeds. So, instead, I will say this. We receive payment and quarters from the Slayer's Take. You can intern under us for a nominal fee. We take the full credit from this job, and you shadow us. Do menial tasks around the house, learn a thing or two, And maybe occasionally we trust you to do something important.
Excuse us.
The spectral hand huddles.
The Spectrominus Supremus will be upset with us if we don't get credit.
He'll be upset. I'll be upset.
But the only consequence of his upsetness is us not having a job. They're offering us a job.
Euphemia does have a point. While I have 100% certainty that everything will work out in our favor no matter what, it does seem like things are a little dicey with the Spectrominus Supremus at the moment.
Yes, Maurice. He was holding us back. Let our rivals underestimate us. Let our rivals think that we're working beneath them all this time, while we watch their every move, learn how they do things, and then iron sharpens iron, as they say.
Gawain, you are a genius.
Don't you dare interrupt me. I was on a roll. I think we all felt it, yes?
I felt a roll.
I absolutely felt it,
all
yes.
Right.
I felt no roll.
So I say, yes, we become these minions, underlings. We bide our time. Maybe that is why we were chosen.
Yes. And if we fall in love, then we fall in love.
Help.
Meanwhile, the Reslayers take in their own huddle.
I don't trust any one of them. Except for that Euphemia woman. She has a good outlook on life.
I don't trust them either, but when we first started, everyone called us incompetents and losers. What would have happened if we listened to them? Who are we to crush their dreams?
Yeah. You all gave me a chance to prove myself. It would be nice to give them one.
We might be incompetent. And whatever words you said, I don't remember. But when one of us is down, the other tries to pick us back up. Let's take 3 of them and leave Gawain.
Unfortunately, I don't think they will leave him. The little devoted one reminds me a lot of Poogs. The difference is, we don't treat our Poogs that way.
If Timpani's our Gawain is actually, decent.
Timpani uses his healing magic.
Suddenly, there is a jostling as Euphemia joins your huddle.
Excuse me.
So, what has your group decided?
Oh, yes. They're amenable. I think they could benefit a lot from your, apprenticeship. I have but one request. Please do not make me do the same tasks you make them do. I need a break.
Just out of curiosity, why do you travel with them?
There's a very small, very real chance that the big one is my son.
Huh?
Shh! Don't say anything. He doesn't know. Look, I'm not sure, but I can't just leave him to those morons.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, we could send you on different tasks than we send them on.
Anything, really. Euphemia turns out to the rest of her team. Gentlemen, and Gawain, we've reached an agreement.
Ah, wonderful. So where to now?
Well, we are going to be doing some research on a mission of our own, and you are going to be cleaning up our druid's room.
All right. As long as I don't have to make sure I write something down in my journal. What a weird thing to say at the end of a fight.
I will end you. That journal is delightful, and I even know that.
That was a fun ribbing.
Frog's eyes dim as she focuses onto Gawain. Her 2 extra hands carefully place her journal back in her knapsack and brings all 4 of her arms up. And she launches herself onto Gawain.
All right. Wait.
We leave the Reslayers take and the Spectral Hand outside of Heldwell's mansion and suddenly find ourselves back in the Demethor Valley, a couple of days earlier. Underneath the tree canopy, in the dark of night, a glowing jellyfish-like spirit pulses through the air. As it floats, almost lazily 9 feet off the ground, another joins it, and they dance around each other for a moment, circling, moving up and down in a helix. It is a beautiful, quiet moment. And then suddenly, both of them twitch, some unseen force yanking them into the darkness of the forest, pulling on their essence, elongating them before they shoot out of sight and are gone. And only a dim green light in the darkness remains. This light brightens as the person bearing it approaches. Heldwell holds the lantern aloft as he crushes the fallen leaves underfoot. Where are you? As he moves, each time he sees a lone jellyfish eidolon, he directs the lantern towards it, catching it in the lantern's glow, and magically sucks it into the lantern. This continues for hours.
Come out, wherever you are! I know you are here, lurking in the shadows, watching all of your precious little spirits disappear. I'll take each and every one of them, unless you stop me!
Silence, answers Heldwell. He remains still.
The apex eidolon approaches.
At the Timberblight's warning, Heldwell places the lantern down on the ground in front of him, facing out. And as he does, 2 glowing green eyes appear in the dark ahead of him, accompanied by a low, ethereal grumble. Moving through the darkness is clearly a primal spirit of immense power. Angry, protective, vengeful.
There you are. Come on then. Come get me.
The spirit approaches slowly with plodding footsteps that, though ethereal, shake the trees, and the head of a gargantuan spectral bear is suddenly visible, easily 15 feet tall. As it plants its feet, growling, the wind grows stronger.
Oh, I see. You need some encouragement.
With a wave of Heldwell's hands, a nearby tree instantly withers and dies, crumbling to ash. A dark necrotic energy ripples outward, and another score of trees begin to rot and bend.
Some protector of the valley you are!
The bear eidolon roars, enraged, and shoots towards Heldwell, frighteningly fast. Heldwell drops to his knees as the bear makes it within 5 feet of him, placing both hands on the lantern, and then there is an explosion of energy underneath the bear's feet. Vine-like ghostly tendrils rapidly sprout out of the ground, entangling and restraining the apex spirit, pulling it to the earth. It bellows loud. Jellyfish eidolons begin to emerge from hiding places, fleeing to the sky as fast as they can, but Heldwell is firmly focused on this trapped guardian spirit.
In the name of Putridius Festerkin, I claim your soul.
And suddenly the bear is gone, disappearing as an aurora of green energy into the lantern. It hums with much greater power, and Heldwell suddenly lurches forward.
Oh my. This feels wonderful.
The Reslayer's Take is a Metapigeon production in partnership with and distributed by Critical Role Productions, developed in association with Hero Club, game mastered and produced by George Primavera and Nick Williams, featuring Nick Williams as Timpani Guff, George Primavera as Poogs, Jasmine Bhullar as Hira Agniheart, Jasmine Chiong as Farah, and Caroline Lux as Frog. With special guests Dylan McCullum, Marty Abbey Schneider, Gabe Greenspan, and Lelia Symington as the Spectral Hand. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
The gem explodes, throwing more sand in Gawain's eyes.
That would be hilarious. Where? Where is it coming from? How is that sand in a gem?